just like food for thought. Number one, Trump's whole drill baby drill thing, number one, it's gonna end badly no matter which way we put it. So many deaths are gonna occur with these people that are working on these oil fields. Like, we tend to forget that there are people that are like working on these oil fields, and to actually drill in the ocean, you actually need people to go out in the ocean, and that is a very dangerous job, first and foremost. Number two, we only have a specific amount of oil in the world. We're unsure if we've actually like reached peak oil or yet not. Peak oil is the most, like, it's when the curve starts going downhill. There's not enough oil in the world for us to like sustain on oil forever. So like, it would be smart for us to start transitioning to other forms of energy. Otherwise, like, we're gonna have no more oil and gas in the world and be like, oh, what do we do now? Like, there's no more oil and gas in the world. Like, and we've just been running everything on oil and gas. But third and foremost, obviously, the climate disaster. I've been thinking a lot about his rhetoric on this, and how can I personally make things better and lower my own greenhouse gas emissions, because with this presidency, I recognize and I understand that I need to lower my own personal greenhouse gas emissions, as well as like everybody I know needs to do this, even though like it shouldn't be put on us as the consumer to lower greenhouse gas emissions. That being said, there are some things that we can do to lower greenhouse gas emissions. Number one, like, just doing all the things you were told as a kid, like turning off the lights, taking shorter showers, those types of things. But other things we don't typically talk about is like using less single-use plastics. So like, instead of like plastic forks and things, like bring your own reusable plastic fork, or not plastic forks, metal forks and everything. Obviously, like the whole like no plastic straws. A lot of people don't use plastic straws anymore, I've realized. Or actually, I don't know. I kind of am an environmentalist bubble, but as it is what it is. But all these like tiny little things that we can do, like walking more, driving less, like not consuming as much, unplugging appliances when we're not using them, all these little things that don't seem that big, but if everybody were to do it, it would actually make a big difference. And I know that one of the arguments is like, oh, what's the point if I just change? That's the same thing as like, oh, who cares if I litter and throws a water ball on the ground? Like, if everybody had that same point, like, you know how much trash would be just surrounded on our earth right now if we just like threw trash like onto the street? You would be like, oh, this is gross. But if like nobody throws trash in the street, you can like tell a difference. It's the same type of thing. If like everybody consumes as much energy as we can, and like with that, like, oh, it doesn't really matter if I like stop consuming energy, then you're gonna be like, oh, this is weird. But if everybody like consumes as little energy as possible, we will see a difference. Like, it's that same concept, that same thing. Anyways, that's just some food for thought. Something I've been thinking, especially I know that Trump is going to be implementing all of these things, and I think it's kind of